Good morning. It's 7:30, and boy, have we got a breakfast event for you. My name is John Davidoff. I'm a member of the Board of Directors of the Wright Foundation for the Realization of Human Potential. My wife Jackie and I are also students in the Wright Graduate University working on our master's degrees and doctorates. And we are part of a committee of students and faculty, administrators, our founders, our board, and our sponsors who have been planning today's event. There are so many people to acknowledge, but what is really moving to me and to all of us is the deep caring that we feel from each of you, our guests, that you were moved to choose to be here this morning with your own interest and dedication to human potential, to personal transformation, to energizing lives, and to igniting our world. So let's make this next hour together a celebration for each one of us and the community we have formed this morning. Welcome, and let's have a celebratory round of applause for all of us. You know, when I started taking courses at Wright many years ago, I already had an amazing life. I was a rising executive at a top advertising agency, national advertising agency, working on the most sought-after, highly visible accounts in the country. I had the positions, the money, and the status I had always dreamed of. And yet, something was missing for me. And with the lessons that I achieved going through Wright's performative education model and the support of my senior leadership cohort at Wright, I made some decisions to break away from tradition and to fulfill my deeper desires, to make a more meaningful difference in the lives of other people. Today, I'm proud to say that I'm actually doing that in every sphere of my life. I have a national sought-after consultancy specializing in mission-driven business strategies. We advise national and local organizations and businesses in a wide range of social issues, such as public health, the environment, education, many faith-based issues as well. We help organizations achieve their missions effectively, and through that, we touch the lives of millions of people. And our work is very much informed by the methodologies and technologies of the Wright Foundation. Not only is my work stimulating, but I get to be in business with my wife, I get to be a dad that my children are proud of, and most important, however, is that I love my life, I love the man I have come to be, the man I respect, and most importantly, the man I am still becoming. Wright has energized my life, Wright has enhanced all that I do, Wright has ignited my world so that I can do the same for others. And now I'd like to tell you about another special person in my life. Lynette Morris is a member of the Wright Graduate University's adjunct faculty. She's a graduate of the Wright Graduate University's master's degree program in transformational leadership. Professionally, Lynette is my colleague. She's a vice president of our company. She is, to me and to many others, an inspiration and a role model, such that she inspired me to actually go back to school along with my wife this past year to begin our own graduate studies. Several years ago, Lynette was given an assignment as part of her assignments at the Wright Foundation to create an overview of the ways that she has transformed to date. And I'd like to welcome Lynette now to share that assignment with you. Would you please welcome my friend and colleague, Lynette Morris.
I was a girl, a very sad and lonely girl. I grew up feeling oh so small, but hid it all behind a false veneer. I was good at school, played by all the rules, but lived my life in fear. In my large family, I learned to think in scarcity. I learned this world's a dangerous place, lacking grace, filled with hostility. I avoided pain, no risk, just shame, blind to the possibilities. But now with strong allies, I've opened up my eyes and started to revise my whole worldview. I set out upon a path of self-discovery, a journey to become more me. And from ghost towards goddess, I've come a long way, tackling limiting beliefs and the nasty self-talk I say, revealing strengths and talents that I never knew. You better watch out, world, 'cause I'm coming for you. In pursuit of satisfaction, I started late, but I'm catching up fast, 'cause I got no time to waste. And with focus, intention, and integrity, I'm stepping into a vision of an authentic me. I'm elevating, can't stop me now. I've got a yearning to be. I'm dedicating to the emergence of the next radiant me. Yeah, I'm dedicated to rematrixing me.
Thank you, Lynette. Rematrixing, evelating, yearning, revelating, dedicating, all concepts from Wright's model of personal transformation, which you can read about in your own copy of Transformed, The Science of Spectacular Living, written by our founders, Doctors Bob and Judith Wright. And you are each receiving your own e-copy of Transformed on a flash drive that will be passing out as part of our demonstration of gratitude for the gift of your presence here this morning. In addition to the copy of Transformed on the flash drive, we also have inspirational quotes, information about Wright Foundation programs and our leadership training programs as well. And in addition to the flash drive, we have about 100 copies of the actual hard book, which you can pick up as you leave today. And if we run out, we'll take your name and get you a copy. And more importantly, read the book, attend one of our Build Right campus tours, which many of you have been to this past year, and participate in any number of our Wright training programs. Now we'd like to invite you to enjoy your breakfast in the company of your table captains, Wright students, faculty, and fellow guests. And while you're having breakfast, we'd like you to do it, what we do at every Wright Foundation event is to invite you to look at ways that you can learn and grow in the course of the breakfast as you meet one another and discuss the stories of our Wright students on the cards at your tables. Enjoy breakfast. Okay.
We're going to be zipping right along here. And I'm going to keep trying to get people's attention.
We could get your attention, please.
We have a freight train.
I don't know.
Well, shall we try what we know how to do?
Can we get your attention, please?
Hello, everybody.
We could get your attention, please. Thank you. I know it's hard to break away from these conversations. Thank you.
Thank you. We're working to keep this to an hour so we can get you out of here. My name's Bob Wright, and this is Judith Wright. We've had the honor to found the Wright Foundation for the Realization of Human Potential and the Wright Graduate University.
We were just in Paris leading a delegation on sacred travel on Friday, November 13th, the night the terrorists struck. We, along with the whole world, fervently praying for those who'd lost their loved ones and for the resolution of the conflict. And against this background of terror and violence, we realized the contrast of what we were experiencing as a group and the importance of the work of the foundation. Because here we were, a diverse group of students and board members, different ethnic backgrounds, social class, different cultures, a multi-faith group of Jews, Muslims, Christians, atheists, agnostics, and we were accompanying our Muslim students as they conducted their prayers at the Grand Mosque of Paris. We were with our Jewish students as they cried, finding their family names on the memorial to Holocaust victims. We were praying with the people of Paris in cathedrals, and we were learning about and appreciating one another and each other's beliefs. And we were having the emotional intelligence to deal with our pain and our fear and our anger in responsible ways. We were expressing empathy and understanding. In the face of fear, being able to use critical thinking and the search of truth. And each member taking personal responsibility, creating and holding vision for one another, and holding each other accountable to live that vision. And when tensions mounted, we were able to engage in conflict that not only resolved the conflict, but helped us learn more about ourselves and each other, and to feel closer than before the conflict. We were using everything we encountered as we were learning to live our lives of meaning and purpose, and to support others to live greater lives, and to expand our reach and our mission. We realized that the skills that we've been learning and our way of being are an antidote to hatred and violence, an alternative to acting out of fear to those who are different than ourselves, to reactive lashing out, and the importance of people having the opportunity to be able to fulfill their potential. And we wanted all people to have these skills, to understand themselves and one another, to be able to resolve conflict, to fulfill their potential, and to create and live in a world that works for everyone.
This is our mission, to energize our own lives so that we can ignite the potential in the world, one person at a time. We recite our mission in unison at the beginning of every staff meeting. Our purpose is to lead authentic, I say it every day, radiant, authentic lives, and to support others to unleash their potential by consciously engaging in their own transformation and leadership for the advancement of humanity and sustainable living on the planet. Purpose is why we do what we do. It permeates all of our courses to help students fulfill their individual purposes at home, work, play, and in service to humanity. 97% of our students in one survey said that they are living with more purpose and greater meaning. Radiant lives means we seek to practice what we preach and teach before people hear our message. 32% of those surveyed were C-level executives. A mere 7.5% had been C-level executives when they started doing our work. Authentic lives, 99% of our students say that they are being happier in their everyday life. We think this happens because we are living more authentic lives, working to courageously be ourselves and standing for rational integrity in everything we do, supporting others to unleash their potential by consciously engaging in our own transformation and leadership. 94% said they were more accomplished. Leadership for us is an inside job, taking responsibility for our influence on the thoughts, feelings, and actions of others, whether we're listening to a talk, working with a team at work, or engaged with our family in our marriage or our community. For the advancement of humanity, starting with ourselves, we seek to maximize our development for service to our worlds in relationship, community, and careers. Conscious, sustainable living on the planet. Mindfully engaging in stewardship of all we do, seeking to leave our world a better place than it was for us having lived in it. The right foundation for the realization of human potential is a collection of lifelong learners who lead communities, families, careers, and professional organizations nationally and internationally. I am truly energized when teachers we train bring cutting-edge education to their children. When a police chief tells us that the training he received from us was the best diversity training he's had in a long career, and we never even mentioned the word diversity. Parents ignited by their children and igniting their children to explore lives of satisfaction and fulfillment.
And I witness these miracles every day, whether it's students transforming their lives and those that they lead and that they touch, from those in the year of transformation and the Wright Graduate University and coaching and our seminars, classes, or our learning labs, whether they're bravely sharing a deep emotional truth with a loved one, or taking a risk at work, asking for more responsibility, going for a promotion, expanding their businesses, or perhaps a shy introvert speaking up on important issues. They're all becoming more authentic, which the existentialists say is not being true to who you've been, but being true to who you can become. And not being able to just stay where you are, but being able to fulfill your potential. That's what makes it authentic. So I get to see students say the unsayable, think the unthinkable, and do what had seemed impossible. And since I was a chubby little girl growing up in a factory town of Flint, Michigan, I dreamed of living a greater life and being part of a community where everybody has the opportunity to fulfill their potential, to discover what's possible, to live lives of contribution and meaning. In my high school, a very small percentage of students went on to college, and those that did went to the local community college for the most part. And the pinnacle of achievement was getting a secure union job at the factory, which of course is no longer secure in Flint. And while I became successful early in my career, I felt unfulfilled, that there must be more than this, which became the title of my first book, because this became my quest to discover what more life could offer, how to live meaningful, fulfilling, satisfying lives of contribution, to have deep, truthful, intimate relationships, a strong sense of self, expanding leadership, making a difference, and how we could support others to reach their potential. And this led to the co-founding of the Wright Foundation for the Realization of Human Potential and its Wright Graduate University, designing innovative curriculum to bring out the best in you and those you touch, where we scan and integrate the best thinking, theory, and research in human potential from the ancient Greeks to current neuroscience, from Adlerian, humanistic, and developmental psychology to existential philosophy, to educational theory and economic and behavioral sciences, into practical application of life assignments where you are your own experiment, constantly and consistently developing new skills in your career, your relationships, your family, your parenting, and your leadership. And we dream of the day when anyone who wishes to partake of our courses and curriculum in any way has the wherewithal to do so, where we don't have to turn away anyone who wants to be part of our courses, where public servants can receive this kind of training and support, where we serve more and more people in more ways with the online curriculum, so we can have students all over the world, where we expand our training facilities, offer more scholarships, enhance our research efforts, hire more faculty and coaches to serve more and more people, to expand our student housing and our classrooms at a Wright Graduate University campus, to develop curricular modules to be used in classrooms, families, organizations of all kinds, to offer our powerful social emotional intelligence training to schools and businesses. And we expand our publications and our products to spread our curriculum for the benefit of all, leading our lives, leading our world to a world that works for everyone. And now we'd like for you to see this in action in the lives of our students.
I'm a social worker by training. I have an undergraduate degree in psychology from Harvard University and a master's in social work from the University of Chicago. People would say that I was well put together, and they had no idea how much I was hurting inside. So I was just numb to my feelings. So I'd get up and go to work, come home, have the television watch me, go to bed, hit repeat, and didn't know what I didn't know in terms of what was possible for me. When I was in the year early on, I had a habit of doing this when I was about to explain something, and explain was the operative word. So I was in my head all the time and trying to understand stuff and figure stuff out. And the heart of me was missing because I hadn't experienced enough acceptance feeling all my feelings. I began to fill up. I want to share something. I'm a social worker, as I mentioned, and about 3 years ago, I had this vision, right about the time that I was starting my work here at Wright. And I had this seed of a thing. You know, in the past, I've had these seeds of ideas before. It's like, man, I really would love to do this thing. I would like to contribute in this way. And I was so freaking afraid of life and of me that that's as far as it would go. And I never stepped out. And what I really want to talk about is this thing that we did. The Illinois Social and Emotional Learning Network hosted a summit, and we brought 80 people together from the Chicagoland area who have a common passion about social and emotional learning in schools and communities and so forth. I've got this mission in life, this vision for the state of Illinois to become a state that is socially and emotionally literate, so that every youngster in this state grows up learning these skills as a matter of course, because we, the adults who are in their lives teaching and nurturing them, also are socially and emotionally literate.
I think manhood in our modern age is a confused concept. I was constantly afraid of what other people thought, so I just basically lived a life of very careful avoidance. I was like that guy in the middle that would just never quite decide or take sides. When Senchit and I first got married in our early years, I definitely wasn't the strong one. You know, she kind of wore the pants in the family. But once we had our first child, it felt like this emotional avalanche.
Culturally, the entire family just wants to jump in. My mother wanted to stay for a month, his mother wanted to stay for a month, and in the midst of it, I started feeling very, very insecure. I know that I'm a good mother, but you know, sometimes when I speak to my mom, I doubt myself.
And I started to realize that she is very vulnerable at this time, and I didn't know how to have her really lean on me. I had to get a lot of support through the work at the foundation to learn how to be stronger as a man and actually own the relationship and say, you're mine, this is our child, this is our family. And it took me a lot of doing to get to that place. And as I did, she started to like melt. And it was the first time, I mean, my wife, when I first met her, she had not cried for 11 years. So I feel like the first 8 years of her life was just the thawing process.
He was really creating the boundaries that I really wasn't able to make at that time. Like putting limits on, okay, how much time will family come over? Or even when family's spending time, comments that family members would make, he would step in and remind me of, no, this is what you wanted. And with that strength, there's a balance of the softness that comes out. And I feel like that's been the biggest transformation that I've seen. It's funny because I feel like I'm falling in love with him again because he's a completely different man than he was when I met.
So I was born and raised in Bangladesh, and I literally feel a pull between my heart and that piece of land. The Wright Foundation was really critical in helping me get introduced to some very, very critical high-level Bangladeshi people, one of which was Dr. Muhammad Yunus, who's earned the Nobel Peace Prize and done a lot of great work for Bangladesh. And to that end, I've created a nonprofit organization called Bangladesh 6G. 6G stands for 6 generations, which is thinking 6 generations out forever. So we look to create sustainable solutions for Bangladesh that can help Bangladesh grow and become abundant, holistic, and sustainable.
Lisa, when I first came to the Wright Foundation for the Realization of Human Potential 10 years ago, I was a well-liked school consultant. I was very good at establishing rapport with teachers and heads of schools, but I was not convinced I was really making a difference at the schools where I consulted. I was acutely aware that I didn't know how to deliver critical feedback effectively, feedback that would cause schools to improve their practices so that children and families would be better served. At the suggestion of a friend, I enrolled in Wright's signature program, the Year of Transformation. In that year-long program, I got weekly assignments designed to shift my behavior and thinking in many, many different circumstances. 3 assignments in particular had a particularly strong impact on my consulting: giving criticism with a vision, telling difficult truths while maintaining rapport, and soothing myself under difficult circumstances. At this time, I got sent to New York City, where I met the toughest, orneriest, most uptight head of school I have ever met. When I toured the school, I began to realize that there were several problems in the school that would prevent me from recommending full recognition to them. I also realized that when I delivered that news, it was not going to be pretty. I stood outside her door and remembered my assignments: deliver the criticism with vision, tell the hard truth, and maintain rapport. And oh boy, soothe myself what was sure to come. Sure enough, when I walked in and delivered the news, she exploded. She was yelling at the top of her lungs about 18 inches from me. Spit was flying all around my face. And at the same time, I kept the vision. I stayed in rapport, and once again, I really did soothe myself. I said to her with enough force to be heard through the yelling, "We have 30 minutes before I have to go to the airport. You can spend that time yelling at me, or we can roll up our sleeves and get busy solving these issues." I know she wasn't expecting that, because the comment stopped her dead in her tracks, and she said, "Okay, let's get busy." Sure enough, within 30 minutes, we had solved each of the 7 problems. I had documentation as to what we were agreeing to do, and I walked out knowing that I had been effective. I knew that the children and families would be having a more meaningful, richer, and more authentic experience at that school. As a result of my coursework at Wright, I was inspired to do original research and co-present it with Dr. Bob Wright to the administrators at the National Convention of Montessori Heads of Schools refresher course, where we received the highest ratings any presenter had ever received. I've also been inspired to get my master's degree and to begin my doctoral work at WGU. I intend for my research to have significant impact on teacher training, thereby influencing outcomes not just for teachers, but for the children and families they touch. None of this would have happened if not for the courses and trainings offered at the Wright Foundation for the Realization of Human Potential. Thank you for energizing my life and igniting my world. Thanks.
Good morning.
My name is Kevin Anthony Johnson. For almost 20 years, I was a minister and a business owner. And in 2005, I decided to restart my life after my marriage ended and moved to Chicago. I reinvented myself, began a coaching practice, working with leaders of all levels, all kinds of businesses. I built a good practice, but it wasn't really great. I knew that I was hitting a ceiling. I had great clients. I worked with, Coca-Cola. I worked with SunTrust Bank. I worked with some really significant folks. But along the way, I realized that I was hitting a ceiling, and it wasn't anything outside of me that was keeping me from becoming more. There was something inside of me that was blocking my way up. 2013, my good friend Karen Curry, the healthy surrogate, brought a dose of health to me by introducing me to the Transform book by Bob and Judith Wright. I read 2 chapters of that book that same night. And I got to tell you, in 2 chapters, I knew that I needed to do something different with my life. I signed up immediately that same night online to get involved in the upcoming foundations training. And that 2.5 days, experiencing that for myself was so profound. I did not know what I did not know. It blew me away. I immediately signed up for the Wright Graduate University program, which, considering that 4 days prior I had not planned on taking a graduate program, was a pretty big decision. And the reason why I did that, it seemed like a rash decision at the time, but what I knew from that experience was that I had never seen an integration of so many things that involved human emergence. I'd read Adler, I'd read about neuroscience, I'd read about human potential, I'd read Maslow, but I'd never seen it weave together in such a rich way that I wanted to change. It wasn't just head knowledge to me anymore. So here I am 2.5 years later. I'm in the middle of writing my thesis as we speak. And I'm realizing how much I've gained, not just from my clients, not just for the quality of coaching that I do. I work great with executives, I work great with middle managers, but at the same time, I'm working better with me. This stuff is more about me than it is about the people I serve. And I found that the more I become me, the better coach I become for my clients. And now, a lot of things have moved in my life. It's been a big year for me. I've reunited with my birth family. As an adopted son, a black man, that's a big deal. I've reconnected with myself. I'm much more grounded to who I am. I'm a much richer father and a friend. And the power that I bring to my clients is exponential compared to what I was able to do before. I now have impact on a global scale. I'm part of an elite team of leadership and executive coaches with PricewaterhouseCoopers. I've gone from working as a solo practitioner to being on a team. Who knew? Who knew I could even do that? But I'm also working with folks from Chicago to Shanghai to the Netherlands and having impact that I never imagined this black kid from Detroit would have ever had. And it's been a transformational experience for me. I can only say that the ignition that's taken place has been a relighting of a flame in me that I thought was gone a long time ago. And if it had not been for the Wright Graduate University and the work of Bob and Judith Wright, I would not be standing right in front of you right now. I would not be having the impact that I'm having in the world. And I would not be the father and friend and partner that I've always yearned to be. Thank you for that.
Let's give them another hand. I think that was inspiring. Thank you. For those of you that are following the agenda, I am not Scott Stephen. I am Rich Lyons, so I'm pinch hitting today. As a background, I'm a foundation board member, adjunct faculty at Wright. I teach courses in sales and entrepreneurship,
and a leadership training and coaching student at the Wright Foundation. Simply put, I'm involved in the foundation and believe in its mission because it works. It provides me with the training and personal development that I need to fulfill my desire to maximize my potential in this world. I personally want to fully live the adventure of life day to day and be used up when I die. And the foundation supports me in this goal, to lead and love my life more fully each and every day. The right technologies and methodologies have impacted not only me, but generations of my family. My mom has taken courses here and is a supporter. My wife is a coach and getting her doctoral degree. And both of my daughters have taken courses and have done leadership training as part of the parent-child weekends that Wright offers. So I'm deeply grateful to everything that I've been given because it's allowed me to be a better husband, a better father, a better son, a better friend, a better employee, and a better CEO. As a matter of fact, from the time that I finished my MBA at Kellogg to now being the CEO of Lions Consulting Group, which is a digital agency that we've won numerous awards, including Crane's Fast 50, Inc. 5000, Consulting Magazine's fastest growing firms, and we're one of the best and brightest companies to work for here in Chicago. I've used Wright leadership and training and coaching. When I was at Kellogg, it was the #1 business school in the country. But honestly, I use what I learned at Wright more every day. I learned how to read a room, how to understand how I feel so I can have insight into how other people feel and how the room feels, what we call social and emotional intelligence. It gives me more personal power, more requisite variety in all my interactions. And I hate to say it, but you can't learn that at business school. At least I didn't, but I did learn it here at Wright. And I personally want others to be able to experience the same support and training that I have. Together, we can create a more responsible, satisfied, and nourishing world for everyone. So today, you've heard the Wright Foundation for the Realization of Human Potential story and met some of our wonderful people. And now it's my honor and privilege to ask you to help us by making a financial investment to support our day-to-day operations. Today we're launching something brand new, which we're calling the Build Right Giving Society. If you've been inspired by what you've seen today and would like to support the ongoing operational needs of the Wright Foundation, I invite you to join me as a founding member of our Build Right Giving Society. Before I ask the table captains to pass out the pledge cards, we've got some very exciting news to announce. As of last night, the Wright Foundation board members, which I'm part of, have made a generous leadership gift of $300,000 to get the giving started and to support our work. So this will go a long way towards our goal of $750,000 for this fundraising event. But now we need your help. So I'd like to ask the table captains to pass out the pledge cards. So captains, if you pass those out, make sure everyone has one. All right, so it should look something like this. So starting at the top of the card, the Build Right Giving Society pledge levels are meant to give you a sense of what your contribution can do. Your contribution will go towards the development needs of the Wright Foundation. The first giving level, Energize, is a pledge of $1,000 each year for 5 years, which is approximately $83 per month. $1,000 per year can help provide scholarships so we don't have to turn away anyone who can't afford it. The next giving level, our Ignite level, is a pledge of $10,000 a year for 5 years. $10,000 a year can help us invest in technology we need to expand our reach so that our coaches can touch and ignite more people in the world, like Fosca and Karen and Kevin and John. And the last level, Transform, is a pledge of $25,000 a year for 5 years. $25,000 a year can help develop our courses for online use so that we can help people all over the world unleash their potential and take the leadership needed to make the world workable for everyone. Any gift of $1,000 or more for 5 years will qualify you to be a founding member in our Giving Society. So I hope you will join us. And just know that any of these gifts will allow more people to take right courses and allow us to energize our lives and ignite our worlds. If you are joining me today as a founding member of the Build Right Giving Society, thank you. Thank you on behalf of the foundation, and thank you on behalf of the world we serve. For those of you who may prefer to give at a different level, on the next line, please tell us how much you would like to give and for how many years. Any gift will touch a life here at Right. No matter what you give, it will have an impact. And whatever level of support you can provide, we ask that you make the first payment on your pledge card today. And then we do have other options if you'd like to make a gift of stock or something else, or simply have some great ideas for us. Please check the next box, the one that says, please contact me. I have other thoughts to share. And please know that whatever you have given today, including the gift of your time and your volunteering, we sincerely appreciate your support for this mission. I'll give you a few minutes now to fill out the pledge cards. Please join us. And even if you're not giving at this time, please fill in your name and your contact information, and please turn in that card because we would love to stay in contact with you. This is very important. So I'll just give you a few minutes. So I want to thank you one and all, and I'm going to turn the program back over to John so he can wrap up. Thank you.
Thank you, Rich Lyons, everyone. Thank you, Rich. Thank you all for joining us this morning. We hope we have touched you and inspired you to think about your own potential as we've inspired one another. We also encourage you to share the stories you've heard this morning with those in your life, your colleagues and family and friends, and talk about the ways that you were touched. And now we invite you to go forth, go out, energize your life, ignite the world, and thanks so much for being with us today.